up on the front of the show and ask you this.
Okay.
But there's a rumor that there's this intimidating toothbrush that's been terrorizing people. And so,
listen, Linda.
Have you been ran out of your home?
Listen.
Have you been ran out of your home because of an electric toothbrush or something?
I really did think I was praying over my family. I was praying that we would not have a bomb go off in our home. Nobody knows what we're talking about.
No,
I don't even know.
Do you want me to tell you guys what happened?
I'm afraid to hear this.
I'm afraid.
So it was a Monday morning a week ago, and I sleep really hard on Sunday nights because Sunday's a really, really big day for ministry, for worship leading and stuff. And so, like, I was out, and I was awoken from a dead sleep by a terrible noise. And it sounded...
Sounds like a Christmas story.
That's what I was thinking.
And what was a clatter?
Listen, it sounded like someone was sawing through my wall, and there was water, like a waterfall. And I called Justin, I put it on speakerphone, and I said, babe, this is not good. Like, something really, really bad has happened. He's like, I'm just now pulling into the plant. And I'm like, it's really bad. And he goes, okay, I'm pulling away from the plant. and he came home, and for 25 minutes, that's how long it takes him. I prayed, and I called him again. I said, do I need to take the kids for safety? I got the dogs out of our room because I thought that my room was going to blow up and we were all going to die. I was really, really scared. And he came home, and he
what was it, Lindsay? What was it?
He opens the shower door, and he said, babe, looks like my toothbrush fell off the ledge and somehow got turned on. Turned the toothbrush off. And we were saved, my hero.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm a little bit shocked. So can I speak on behalf of the audience?
Please.
Here's what everybody, y'all feel free to chime in and tell everybody that you're agreeing with me here.
Yes.
So I learned a lot about you already. So here's the question.
Okay.
You know, there are, on this planet, when something happens, there are a million possibilities.
Yes.
You went straight to the house is going to blow up.
I went straight to the Lord in prayer.
Well, that
for
was
my house.
After your house is going to blow up. I mean, why couldn't it have been that there is a mole who is bore into your house?
Listen, when I was like in
How about, when I was in middle
school, our water
It was
heater
an Al Qaeda
exploded.
mole. It was
okay?
going to blow up, okay?
Our water heater exploded when I was in middle school in the bathroom right next to my room. And so I thought, it's happening again, and there's going to be fire
that's
and
at least more realistic
water
than a bomb
everywhere. I thought it was
see
over.
that.
I almost called my neighbors. I was like, do I need to call?
It was over.
Oh, my
Listen.
word.
I just want to know, why was there like a lack of investigation?
I went in
Because I
there.
feel like Justin got there, and within 5 minutes, he was like, yeah, it's a toothbrush.
That's
It was
another
within
great
like 30
question.
seconds.
Yeah.
But I went in the bathroom
I mean,
and
you're
I
dead
couldn't
anyway.
find the sound.
Why not at least go
walked
see
all
why you're gonna
over.
die?
I don't think due diligence was exercised.
No, I'm going to die.
Listen.
That was determined.
I have
at least
never
want to see why I'm gonna die.
proclaimed to have excellent technical skills. I've never
It's not technical skills.
Nah.
It's opening the shower. Like,
Well, I
I'm
thought
pretty
the
sure a
shower was
3-year-old
going to
could
blow me
turn
up.
that off.
So I
Don't
did
know how
not
the door
open the
works.
shower
The
because I
thing
didn't want
about
to die.
this business, guys, is once you have these tools and stuff in place, you can sit in your underwear in your office and have fun and act a fool and make as much as you want, because that's what these tools do.
We are not wearing our underwear, by the way.
Oh, I'm definitely
I'm wearing underwear.
I mean, we're not wearing.
Lindsay, please
You
speak
can
for yourself.
Do
I
not.
decided
We're
to
not
wear it.
wearing just our underwear.
Oh, okay.
That is different.
That's different.
That is a completely different
That's
statement.
completely different.
Those
stuff.
are different
Where are we
words.
going here?
Why? I mean, talking about toothbrushes, and then
I'm telling you.
I don't know where she's
What has happened to this program?
She's hijacked it. It used to be a nice Christian show.
Yes, and you know that
Christian-
guy who come up to you and he
Justin,
says,
come
"Hey,
get
can we
Lindsay."
just get through the weird stuff to the business?"
Yeah.
Now we know why.
Now we know what he's talking about. Now we know. You know, it all started with this CBD comment, and
I
ever
just
since
meant we weren't like
then, we
inappropriate off camera. That's all I meant.
Yes.
yes. No one's.
Oh, we're definitely inappropriate off the camera too, but that's a whole nother story.
we leave the inappropriateness to when we're on the camera. Any other questions?
Yeah,
The
we
whole
had
thing is, I have not in my heart. Like
Listen,
How
let's.
defensive she's got in my heart.
She's starting to feel guilty.
no, I'm telling you, I thought that toothbrush was going to set my house on fire.
I am sending a text message to your pastor and asking him,
Yeah.
please do not listen to this episode.
Episode 394.
It was innocent.
It was innocent.
I really did think that my house was going to explode and I need to protect my children and my dogs. And like, I was trying to figure out a plan for safety.
You did the worst comment and ever made, and one that still leaves us all asking, why is there an electric toothbrush in the shower?
Thank you for listening to our show today.
A blog will help you do that. Number 6, a blog will help you tell your story. And I want to tell you, nothing sells better. Nothing you do. There is nothing you can do or say that is going to do better for you than telling your story. Your story has more power and more potential for you to turn a profit, to grow your platform, to be able to widen your footprint, to have more impact, to be able to reach more people in a much more deeper and meaningful way that builds that rapport that you so desperately need and want for your business. Nothing will do that better than telling your story. Everybody's got one. I like what Eric Thomas said one time. He says, I might not have been through what you've been through, but I've been through my go through. And telling people what you've had to go through helps them understand, okay, this is a real person. It encourages them. What is encouraging people? It's literally taking courage and putting it on the inside of them. When I tell my story of how it was just in 2008, I was broke, busted, and disgusted. I was just steps away from being homeless. Our house was being foreclosed on. We were literally days away from get out of the house, a house that we had lived in my whole life. I was raised there, been in my family for years. It was the old family farm. My great-grandparents met at a barn dance on that piece of property. Telling that story and finding myself in a food bank looking for benevolence to feed a family of five children and a wife, actually a family of 7. Telling that story informs people that, hey, I don't know where you're at, but I've had my own thing. I get struggle. And it also lets them understand why I'm so passionate about what I do. Because the very training, the tools, the technology that I use today is how I, just in a short period of just a decade, have gone from the outhouse back to the penthouse. But more than the softwares, the systems, the website.
What's up, Fire Nation? Another bonus episode coming your way. This one was a great chat. I had a lot of fun with Terry Wilson. Terry is a serial entrepreneur who offers entrepreneurs and solopreneurs the tools, training, and technology needed to earn and enjoy more. For the past 13 years, he's helped thousands of hungry individuals discover their thing, develop the skills to do it, and be given a strategy to deliver it to market and produce value. Terry has a weekly podcast that can be heard on iTunes, Stitcher, and at terrywilson3.com. He also wrote a book called You Are Worth More, which you can check out at youareworthmorebook.com. We have a lot of fun in this episode, Fire Nation. I truly hope you enjoy. It's hard. It is hard work to achieve uncommon success. But you know what else is hard, Terry? Being broke.
You better believe that.
Living paycheck to paycheck, not being able to support your loved ones, not being able to support yourself, not being able to get up in the morning and do something that you want to do, but doing something you have to do. That's hard too. So Terry, my call to action for everybody here is choose your hard. Like back in 2012, it was hard. I spent 32 years of my life doing hard work and making the wrong decision on choosing my hard. I was going down the wrong path. I wasn't having any success. But then I flipped it and I said, you know what? Building this business, Entrepreneurs on Fire, it's going to be hard work. But the alternative is hard too. So I choose the hard of building a life of freedom, of building a life of choice, of building a life of uncommon success. And that's my call to action to everybody hearing our voices today. Choose your hard.
Choose your heart. Boy, I love that. Because there's a high cost of low living. And sometimes we think that, we're just going to get out of this easy by taking the path of least resistance. And boy, sometimes the end of that path is just a tiger. I'm telling you, brother.
Identify your big idea. Not be a weak, pale imitation of somebody else's big idea, which most people do. They're like, oh, look at what Terry's doing. He's so successful. Look what John's doing. I'll just copy them. And then you wonder why you fail, because you're a weak, pale imitation of those people and you will never win as a result. You need to come up with your big idea your zone of fire and wake up every day on fire, living that life. That is the life that you deserve. Because what at the end of the day do we really want? Freedom. The ability to wake up and do what we want, where we want to do it, with whom we want to do it with. If you have those three things, what more is there in life? And you can give yourself that gift. Just take it.
Which is identifying why are you here? You know, I like to say it this way. You're not a cosmic accident. You didn't show up on planet Earth because lightning struck a mud puddle billions of years later and you crawled out. You're a significant person with a significant reason for being here. There's a reason for you to be here. And once you identify that big idea, as John just said it, life becomes, oh my gosh, becomes unimaginable. Give us go ahead.
Just on that point real quick. I mean, I think it's so key for people to understand this, like what Terry is just sharing. There is so much wisdom out there in this world, but there's also so much noise and it's chaotic. And sometimes it's so hard to really cut through all of this and to really get to the meat and potatoes, to really get down to what matters.
Does anyone know Terry's story, what Terry did?
I do.
So Terry sold musical instruments, sold pianos, right? And what was it? Was it 9/11 that created the problem?
Yeah.
9/11 creates a problem. Nobody wants to go. There's no money in town anymore. It's a brick and mortar store. Some woman comes up to him in church, some older woman, and she's like, I was thinking about your problem, and the Lord told me you should sell them on the computer. Sell your pianos on the computer. And Terry's like, that's a great idea. I got to get out of here because you're crazy. So, of course, he does it in that sweet way where he says, oh, bless your heart. And
Bless your
he
heart.
thinks about it. And then he's like, you know, he told me about the story about, you know, the guy, it's a flood and, you know, you should get out. No, the Lord's going to save me. And at the end, he goes to God and says, why didn't you save me? He's like, I did. You know, I tried. I sent you the news report. I sent you a helicopter. You know. So Terry takes that and he's like, God's telling me what to do here, right? So that was the message. I should sell these things online. His first thought when the woman tells him that is, how am I gonna, because she said her grandson sold CDs.
On eBay.
Yeah, Terry's like, how am I, you could just I can't put a stamp on a piano. This is crazy.
Drop it in the mailbox.
Yeah, so the next day, right? The next day he starts sells them out in a week. So he doesn't think about, he doesn't latch on to his idea of I can't ship these things cheaply, right? He just goes past that. He goes, well, what's my first solution? My first solution is I got to sell these things. That's all he's thinking about. He sells out his whole inventory in a week. Then the problem comes to him. How do I get rid of these things? I've now sold them. How do I deliver them? So what would you guys have done?
Hire a U-Haul and drive them out there.
Yeah, that's what Terry did. Terry got a truck and just was like, well, I'm going to take my brother-in-law. We're going to go around the country. We're going everywhere. And he delivered pianos for 2 weeks. That's amazing. And then, you know, and then he's like, oh, and the next thing is I talk to someone and as he goes and he talks to the manufacturer and he's like, so, you know, where are these things? You know, if I want to get them, how do I sell them? And he doesn't go into the conversation with the idea of, I'm going to figure out how to make this more efficient for myself. Or maybe he does to a degree, but he doesn't make that his outward appearance. He's not desperate. He's desperate, but he doesn't portray desperation. He portrays, as he's talking to the person, he's asking them questions about their business. And they give him the keys to the kingdom. They tell him the whole layout. They tell him exactly how to run his business. Now, in Watergate, did you ever hear, like in the first week after Watergate, Woodward and Bernstein spoke to a Spanish guy down in Mexico. And the joke was, he told us exactly what happened, but we don't speak Spanish, so we lost the story. It turns out that was true. They got the whole thing in the first week, but didn't understand it. Terry got the whole thing in the first week and put it together. He hears, you have warehouses all over the country, so why don't I sell them and then you guys will just deliver them locally? He gets that in an instant. He doesn't think about the problem. He doesn't think they're not going to do it, any of this stuff. When I hear about Terry selling them and he just gets in a truck, my first thought with that is, I know.
Welcome to TerryWilson3.com.
Over one decade of helping others
Discover, develop, and monetize your skills and talents
At TerryWilson3.com.
This is the Terry Wilson. Really? I'm excited, Terry. I want to get started.
Here's your host, Terry Wilson.
Thank you, Bobby B. And this is Terry Wilson, and you are listening to TerryWilson3.com. I hope everyone is doing great. And this is one of those episodes that if you are listening to the audio side, which I know most of you do, and there's nothing wrong with that, you'll probably want to go and check the video side of this out. This is episode 457. You can go to terrywilson3.com/YouTube and check it out because tonight we're talking about video, the importance of video, and why 2021 is the year of video. And we've got a special guest on with us tonight. We call him Coach C, the coach down there in Georgia. Bobby, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good to have you on. And I know it sounds like you rock Miss Spelling Bee's world already with some of your video training.
That I did.
Now, are you going to be using some of that stuff tonight in your training?
Yes, it is. Yes, I will.
Oh, man. I can't wait. So, well, picking on Miss Spelling Bee is a favorite pastime. You know, baseball is America's pastime, but at TW3, picking on Miss Spelling Bee is our favorite pastime. So anytime you can use her as an example, we're going to have fun with that.
Well, that's good.
So, River, how's your day been?
Pretty good. This daylight savings has put me off a lot.
Do you feel like it's supposed to be 1 o'clock?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
For those who are just tuning in, River is running a little bit on, I guess, Central Time, I guess, would be the...
I'm with him. It was a struggle for me to get up. We went back and forth to Atlanta yesterday for her, my wife's sister's birthday. And
good.
Driving there and then driving back and then waking up and being like, that's not right. It can't be this late.
It just don't feel right. There's something. Yeah. I think they did that for time's sake because back in the day they wanted kids out of school in time to get home to help the parents on the farm.
I don't care what the reasoning is.
That was the excuse I was sold anyway.
We need to reverse that or something. So.
Who is farming today?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, farmers, they're really important, but still.
No, I get it. I get it. It's totally the probably the most important career we have in the country. You got to eat.
Yeah.
But good night. I don't think it's like it was where everybody's having to do something to eat. We got the luxury of going to the grocery store. So. But anywho, what announcements you got tonight, Reagan?
Yeah, so if everybody wants to go ahead and submit their questions, we've got plenty of members on that are gracious enough to sort of help us out, and they'll start answering your questions for you. Sometimes Terry will even pop in there and answer those for you as well. If you want to share this podcast, you can share this podcast with hashtag TW3Podcast457. That's hashtag TW3Podcast457. We normally check Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn mostly for those.
No MySpace?
No MySpace.
Oh, what's wrong with that? River?
And then coaching will be available with Terry at coachwithtw3.com.
Coaching is available now.
You're doing coaching?
I'm doing mindset coaching. No, the business coaching is over on this side.
Also, it's not like swing coaching or anything like that.
Well, I'll call Bobby up. Say,
you can probably take care of that for people.
Keep it in the zone as long as possible. But hey, did you? Bobby was telling me about what was it that you said just happened down in spring training? Tell River that about the at bat.
22 pitch at bat.
Yeah, 22 pitch at bat.
Wow.
Yeah, the Mets. It was a Mets batter and it was a Cardinals pitcher.
Wow.
Is that not amazing?
Explain that to everybody, that all the people that don't understand what that is. Definitely not me, but what does that mean?
It means the pitcher had to throw 22 pitches to get this guy out, or at least something happened to him.
Oh, that would be so annoying.
Bobby said that he didn't strike him out.
Wow.
He actually had to walk him eventually.
Wow.
He ended up walking him. And I mean, 22 pitches. Oh. I mean, for a pitcher to throw that many pitches to one batter is really unheard of. And the other thing is to throw that many pitches and not have an out is even more demoralizing for the pitcher.
Gotcha.
Oh, what's the total pitch count average in today's modern day baseball, Bobby?
Somewhere between 80 and 100.
So if 80 pitches,
pitchers, A relief pitcher is going to go 25 to 30.
So a starting pitcher, let's say, if he's a great starting pitcher,
20% basically. On
he spent 20% of his pitches on one batter.
See, I would imagine everybody that's into baseball is like they're live and they're like, this is amazing. But if I was there, I'd be like, oh my God, can we get this moving? Like, what is happening here?
Well, think about it in business. How many times, and this is a great business lesson, you're trying to close that deal and you got this one guy. Have you had that experience where you've had one guy keep you on the phone for an hour and a half to eventually he walked?
Yeah. Yeah. A little close to home there.
So let's put it in context of business.
My eyes are going to start twitching. Let's just move on.
Bobby, yours truly over here, Mr. Reagan, had a client, and you know, we spend as much time as we need. I mean, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But it was one of those guys that
it's a very one-sided conversation.
Yeah, I think in hindsight you might say you lost control of the sales conversation.
At what point do you want to not be rude, but also it's like I'm not even joking. It's an hour and 15 minutes, and we're somewhere in Idaho for some reason.
We're talking about harvesting potatoes or something.
Yeah. Sorry.
Everything but business. Yeah, it happens. It happens. That's why
it won't happen again. It happened once.
Well, that's why, you know, you talk to any pro, business pro, it translates into baseball. It's time spent in that cage.
Yeah.
Because now you've got that experience and you've learned. It's one thing to have a sales trainer come to you and say, hey, you got to control the narrative. You got to stick to the script. You got to control the conversation. You got to ask questions that lead this way. You can take all that training, but at that time at bat where you just get and your arms getting sore, you figured out I would have been better off to plunk that guy at pitch 8.
I'm a little nervous to talk about it because maybe he'll come back.
No, you know, I mean, it's not about him.
No,
it's about you.
But I wanted to give a funny anecdote. There's a lot of moments when a conversation, I'm sure everybody's had this, you get to a conversation that's like kind of going on a little too long and it's like a little bit out of your wheelhouse. Maybe you're talking about something that you're not familiar with.
Yeah.
And so you do that typical like right, sure, yeah, yeah. You do that, but you're not really listening because your brain actually can't keep up. It's like it's your brain saving. It's like calories basically. It's like you're not gonna try and figure all this stuff out because after a while, it's like being in school. You're just eventually like
you're giving him the plight.
This guy though. I don't know if he was a trained special ops Navy SEAL.
He was wearing you down.
He was like torturing me a little bit because not only would he had it timed so perfectly. Every 10 to 15 minutes, just when you thought you were comfortable to just kind of put your brain on autopilot, he'd be like, you know what I'm saying? And I'd be like, And he'd be like, no, like, do you understand what I'm saying right there? Like, blah, 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 blah. And he would ask like questions about the lesson he had just given me. And I'm just like on the desk, like this is, you can't do that. He did that like 3 times, and I was like, this is not for me.
It's sort of like you're going along the conversation, and then you hear the pitch change, and oh shoot, that was a question. It just went up.
We're going to the bridge. I forgot what key we're in. Dang it.
Oh goodness. I tell you what, I love sales. I love business because it forces us to be better communicators, better people. You almost have to have a degree in psychology at some level. And tonight I think it's great because Bobby's bringing the heat. He's going to be talking about the importance of video, especially in today's world. Bobby, do you want to give a prelude to anything we're going to hear tonight?
Just be prepared. The video is a game changer. And I'm using it on LinkedIn specifically, and I'm using it's a way that I'm introducing myself to new clients and prospects, and it's blowing people away because it's something they don't expect. Email, text, they're starting to fade. People aren't paying attention. And so video is a way to get people to pay attention because you're hitting them literally from a blind side.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I can tell you, we started using video here intentionally and on purpose and regularly back in 2015. And we immediately felt a spike in our business because of it. And if you're in the listening audience today and you're like, you guys are gonna find this funny, and hopefully your mother won't watch this particular podcast, but I'm gonna tell on her a little bit. Your mother, as you know, is polar opposite of me in just about everything. Personality, temperament, desires, motivations, everything. And that's what makes us a great, team, I think, in a lot of ways, because we can cover each other's blind sides. A little throwback to, but she is over.
It just hit me.
You just caught what I did.
Yeah.
She is over a particular ministry, and because she's over that, she's sort of like the face of that. So occasionally, part of her job that she gets frustrated with is having to do the public speaking and presentation and being in front of people. She wants to be behind the scenes, which is great. That's very admirable. In other words, I don't need the accolations. I get my thrills from getting the job done.
Right.
But in that particular area, people need to see, hear from, and get a vibe of who is in charge of my children, the safety of my children, the care of my children, what kind of content is being. So it's very important for parents to sort of, you don't have to give a 30-minute spiel. You don't have to be Zig Ziglar or Tony Robbins, but you do have to say, hi, my name is, this is what we do, and blah, blah, blah. Just so they can get as we say in the South, a cut of your jib, old school throwback there. Well, Saturday, we were in the office here, and I had the green screen up, and I said, okay, just say this, this, and this. And I mean, a 2-minute video turned into 2.5 hours. And it's because what kept us from doing videos a lot of times, you're self-aware, you don't want to be in front of people, you're self-conscious about what do I look like, what do I sound like, this, that, and the other. And all of a sudden, all of this internal self-talk of, just not wanting to be in the spotlight, just all of a sudden just pulls you, and it almost, it puts you in a position where you become paralyzed. You have to push past that.
Yeah.
And you have to understand you are your toughest critic. Mm. And there's so many times I've been tempted to go back in 2014, 2015 and pull some of those videos because they just look like garbage. They look like absolute trash. And I didn't delete them, but I would disable them. Mm-hmm. And I would have people, hey, where's that at?
Yeah. They got something from it.
Well, not only that, it served as a starting point of where I started in that medium and where we're at today. And it encourages people. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, good Lord, if Goofball over there in South Carolina can it's starting to look like, then there's, I think, sometimes we are our worst critics. And I love the fact that Bobby's bringing the heat tonight on video and how to do it and how to be a better practitioner in that medium, because I'm telling you, if 2020 didn't do anything, it got everybody familiar with a term called the Zoom, and I think I heard Time Magazine or one of these companies that said the quote of 2020 was, "You're still on mute." Because everyone,
a lot of really funny videos that come out about that.
Oh my word!
But I would say for everybody that's got like really bad stage fright, I guess is the word.
Yeah.
I think everybody that's played an instrument live can tell you like that goes away. Like I remember the first time I ever played live music, it was like 30 people at most. I was like shaking. I couldn't play my instrument. And then you look at it over like a 6-month period, 2 years, however long I played, play in front of 200 people, and it's like just an everyday thing. It just comes with practice.
I don't think, for me, I can't speak for other people, but to this day, when I get up in front of an audience, I mean, I've spoken to thousands of people. I've spoken to 20 people. Every time I get up in front of people, I still get nervous.
Sure.
The difference is I have got some tools internally through practice of doing it so long.
Yeah.
I know how to manage it, which before I didn't know how to manage it. I don't know. For some people, I think they're just their personality types. Their temperaments, their psychological makeup will be that they always feel, but can you manage that feeling? Can you navigate that? I think it's like Jim Rohn says, don't wish that it gets better. Don't wish that the situation gets softer. Wish that you get better or it easier. Don't wish that it gets easier. Wish that you get better. In other words, it never gets easier. I don't think it's just you get to a certain level of strength. You build up muscle. that
Yeah.
you can lift that 100 pounds where before it just was killing you.
Yeah.
You know, so I love what we're doing tonight. I love that we're going to have some practical, tactical training, some business training on it. So you guys will want to stay tuned because it is going to be great. And so when we get back right after this break, you're going to hear from Coach Bobby C down there in Georgia. And he's got, I think he's got Miss Spelling Bee in the barrel tonight. He's going to be showing off using her as an example, which I love and can't wait to get to see that. We get back right after this. Learners are learners and leaders are readers. So if you want to go to the next level, you do have to grow to the next level. And that's why I offer free audiobooks at terrywilson3.com/free book. That's terrywilson3.com/free book. When you go over there, you're going to get to try the service out for 30 days free. No obligation. And you get a free audiobook just for checking it out at terrywilson3.com/free book.
But you know what else is hard, Terry? Being broke.
You better believe that.
Living paycheck to paycheck, not being able to support your loved ones, not being able to support yourself, not being able to get up in the morning and do something that you want to do, but doing something you have to do. That's hard too. So Terry, my call to action for everybody here is choose your hard. Like back in 2012, it was hard. I spent 32 years of my life doing hard work and making the wrong decision on choosing my hard. I was going down the wrong path. I wasn't having any success. But then I flipped it and I said, you know what? Building this business, Entrepreneurs on Fire, it's going to be hard work. But the alternative is hard too. So I choose the hard of building a life of freedom, of building a life of choice, of building a life of uncommon success. And that's my call to action to everybody hearing our voices today. Choose your hard.
Choose your heart. Boy, I love that. You know, because there's a high cost of low living. And so, sometimes we think that, you know.
And now back to our show with Terry Wilson.
I like your new intro. I think that should be the intro, though. Whatever this is, that's the best song you've got. I'm not even lying.
You like the more laid back?
I love that. Whatever that is, that should be an actual song.
Well, the problem is when I get started with this, I feel this sort of, I'm jacked up on energy a little bit. And this right here, I don't know if I can match the energy on the intro here.
Yeah, this should be on Snoop Dogg's podcast. All right. My only thing I was supposed to do in this like 10-minute segment was supposed to introduce Bobby, but I just wanted to.
Yeah, I understand.
But yeah, we've got Bobby's training coming up, and I'm really excited for it because I've heard great things, but I haven't seen it yet.
Bobby always brings the heat. So, ladies and gentlemen, here's Bobby.
Thanks, Terry. I'm glad to be back. The last time I was on, I talked about becoming a LinkedIn All-Star. I hope you found that helpful. In the business world, LinkedIn is where you want to be. There's no doubt about it. Tonight, I want to talk with you about the biggest story of 2021, and that's the emergence of video. Okay, everybody knows the COVID story, so there's no need to rehash all of that. The business world has changed dramatically, and there's nobody who hasn't been touched by COVID in some way or another. And if you're waiting for things to get back to the way they were, you're going to be waiting a long, long time. At some point, the masks will come off, businesses and offices are going to reopen, but not everybody is going back to the office. We have two normals today, the old normal and the new normal. The future is going to be a mix of the two. I'm calling it the hybrid economy. Your future success depends on which way you pivot. You have a choice. You can either be a minnow or a whale. But know this, video is here to stay. So right now it's important to be both seen and heard. Trust is the new currency. It's a new mindset. Power and influence are byproducts of trust. And remember, reputation does not equal character. People with character let trust happen naturally. But in this day and age, your trustworthiness is always being evaluated. And so it's better to be seen and heard than just heard. Your goal is to be seen as the expert. To do that, you need to raise your visibility. I took this picture on LinkedIn the other day. In the search bar, I typed in the word expert. And I was surprised by this because there's 7.4 million people with the word expert in their titles. So it appears today that everybody's an expert. But the number one business skill you need to have going forward is the ability to do videos. And here's your proof. A year ago, Zoom had roughly 10 million users. Today, that number has grown to over 300 million. Getting your head around Zoom is one thing. But if you really want to stand out, you have to embrace video marketing. And to do that, you need a plan. Look, it doesn't matter what your niche is or how long you've been doing it. If you have a product to sell or a service you provide, you'll need video today to sell it. The days of throwing up videos on YouTube and Facebook are long gone. Your plan doesn't have to be complicated, but it does have to be practical. The simpler, the better. There are a lot of benefits to doing video. And these few really stand out. Success in sales comes from the prospect knowing, liking, and trusting you. Video speeds up this process. Personalized videos are one of the fastest growing online trends today. 80% of people say they're more likely to do business with a company if it offers a personalized video experience. This includes video emails, video outreach, and video follow-up. Video keeps you top of mind. Positioning is important if you want to be seen as the go-to expert. Video dramatically increases your impact and influence, both of which result in increased income. Video increases your visibility. More visibility means that clients and prospects are more aware of you. And video helps you attract your ideal client. Video gives you greater influence, which makes you naturally more attractive. Every video you create has a plan and a purpose. Longer videos can be repurposed for other platforms such as blogs, media, social media, articles, and even transcribed into text for use in articles. There's no wasted content. Video also shortens your sales cycle, and this grows your sales. WordStream reports that business owners who use video grow revenues 49% faster than those who don't. Also, 95% of viewers are more likely to remember a call to action after watching a video versus just 10% when that call to action is in a text format. Your video learning curve will shorten and simplify. When it does, selling becomes easier. Once you find your video sweet spot in terms of length and content, it becomes easier to make videos. And once you get comfortable with the tools, training, and technology, making videos becomes fun. Let's get to the marketing plan itself. Step 1 in any plan is goals. Who is your target market? And what exactly do you want your videos to accomplish? And this is important, but what's the one big result or big outcome you want to achieve for your clients? The clearer your focus is on this point, the better your results. Your message must be clear and compelling. Speaking on video is different than speaking in person. It's not what you say, but how you say it. The video sweet spot, what do I mean by this? It's what type of video works best for you. Mine is off camera behind the presentation. There are a lot of different types of video, and you need to try all of them to see what works best for you. What you say matters. These are the magic words. It's more than what you say, but it's really how you say it. Lose the sales speak and the jargon. and use stories. And stories leave a lasting impression. When it comes to platforms, it all starts with YouTube. You need to make sure your YouTube channel is set up correctly and that you're tracking the keywords you want to be searched for. Next comes Facebook Live, then Instagram, and last but not least is LinkedIn. Did you know that LinkedIn now has video messaging? It's brand new. LinkedIn is already the world's most trusted social media network. It's also the best for B2B lead generation. This is important. LinkedIn users are 20% more likely to share a video post than a text post. And 59% of senior executives prefer to watch videos than read text posts. So LinkedIn is a must-use platform for video marketing. Videos done the right way can supercharge your marketing efforts and accelerate your sales cycle. Guesswork and hope are not video marketing strategies. Know that. Now more than ever, you absolutely must have a solid video marketing plan for your business. Rule number 1 of marketing is this: you gotta stand out. You must differentiate yourself from your competition. What makes you different? In the world of copy and paste mass messaging, video messages help you stand out. So what makes video messages work? Imagine it's Tuesday morning. You've just gotten your coffee and you open up your email inbox and you see that you've received 2 emails. The first one reads, "Hi there. I'm Chris from Acme Consulting. I would love to explore if there are synergies between our businesses. Do you have time for a quick call?" And you think automatically, you got to be kidding me, right? Synergies? Really? It looks like a mass email. It reads like a mass email. It's not personalized in any way. So you file it where it belongs. You hit the delete button. The second one reads, "Hey Bobby, you're doing some great work with TW3 Marketing. I read your latest article and found it very insightful. My name is Chris and I also work in the consulting industry. I recorded a quick video to introduce myself." Okay, you click on the video. In the video, you see the sender addressing you by name. He's making eye contact and asking you a specific question. You're impressed by their effort. They've taken the time to make this video just for you. They can't automate this and send it out to everybody. You're curious. You're not quite sure where this is headed or what they really want, but you're going to respond with an answer to their question. So what makes the second email different from the first one? It's personalization. 80% of people say they're more likely to do business with a company if it offers a personalized experience. The more personalization you put into an outreach message, the higher the chance your prospect is going to respond, which is the goal of the email in the first place. So remember this, personalized video messages is one of the fastest growing online trends right now. By using personalized video in your email, you're going to get more responses. The more responses you get, the more meetings and calls you'll book. More conversations means more business. So how do you create a video message for your client? Well, first, you open up the prospect's LinkedIn profile. Second, you make a quick introduction. You state your intentions, make a call to action, and write and send your message. Pretty simple. What you're trying to do is to connect naturally, to say hello, make yourself known. You're making it clear that you've checked out their profile and their content. You're taking interest in your prospect before talking about yourself. Doing it this way, there's a much higher chance they'll accept your invitation when you introduce yourself this way. Here's one I did the other day. I did it with Miss Spelling Bee, Lori Brown. Good afternoon, Lori. My name is Bobby Christy. I checked out iTarget Marketing and I see that you're doing some awesome work. I noticed you're helping businesses get more sales with lead generation software. I'm really interested in what you do and would like to learn some more. I'm looking to build relationships with the folks in this industry. In my company, we also help businesses get more sales with trust-based selling skills. It looks like you're in the same space, so I just wanted to connect for now and say hello. If you'd like to check out my site, you can find it at tw3-marketing.com. If there's anything I can do to help you share your content or make any introductions, just let me know. That was the actual script that I used in the message. It was 40 seconds long, and it blew her away. So what are the tools and tips to help make your video messages more effective? I use Loom and also my iPhone. Loom makes it easy and fast to send videos to anybody. Loom is perfect for sending screen recordings and has an option to move your camera anywhere on the page. There's a free version and a paid version, and I pay $10 a month or so. You also have Dub, which is similar to Loom. BombBomb, I use that in the car industry to make videos. A webcam, you may or may not want to go out and get a webcam, and your phone. I do virtually all of my recordings on my phone. And as for tips, you want to keep them short. Keep it focused on the recipient. Have a clear question or call to action. Your goal is to get a response, and then you can keep the conversation going. Nobody feels comfortable their first few times sending video messages, but the more you do, the more comfortable you'll become in recording and sending them. The next time you send an email to a prospect, include a personalized video. Make it quick, make it actionable. Put yourself on camera. Write a quick message that gets him to watch the video. Look, just do it. Do it without any expectations. Some prospects will watch and won't respond. Hey, that's okay. But those who do watch it will be impressed. And they'll be glad you've sent them a personalized video. They'll watch it and respond. And then you can start building a relationship with them. By personalizing your outreach messages with video, you'll massively increase your chance of getting that response. And from there, you're going to close more business. Look, there's no magic silver bullet here. You have to put in the time, and you have to learn the strategies to succeed. Video is a game changer. Get in the game. And that's about it. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at rac@tw3-marketing.com. Thanks.
You're listening to TerryWilson3.com.
Inspiring, informative, and entertaining content for the entrepreneur and small business owner.
And now back to our show with Terry Wilson.
Killing it on those buttons. Proud of you. So next, we've got Terry's training. He's going to be doing the top 10 video tools we use here at TW3. So let's get into that.
Okay, here are my top 10 video tools that I use. Number 1, OBS. OBS is everything that you see on the screen right now. OBS is driving it. It stands for Open Broadcast System. It's a free software that you can use to stream any video you want on YouTube, on Facebook, and a lot of your social media platforms. So if you're into streaming and you want to do a live video podcast like this one, or you're into gaming and you want to stream maybe a game that you're doing on Twitch, OBS, totally free. Our churches that we work with, a lot of them, we'll get them set up with the OBS platform because it's an open broadcast system, sort of like WordPress and some other things. There's developers out there that are third-party developers that are developing plugins, which is basically software systems that you can use with it all the time to make all kinds of things like lower thirds that you see here and other things that we use here
at TW3. So OBS is very cool and I recommend it. Number 2, it starts with your camera. And there's a couple cameras I use. Like right now, I'm using a Sony 4K camera to do this on. However, when I'm streaming, a Logitech camera. And so I'm either going to be using my camera here that I'm up against a green screen here, and I'm using this camera to capture that, or I'm using the Logitech when I'm streaming live, okay? And normally when I'm sitting at my desk, you'll see that. Number 3, I love this software. I've been using it forever. Matter of fact, tonight, the entire show, the commercials, the actual live stream, all of it was produced, mastered, volumes, color saturations, all of those things, the gamma effect that you have to have for the green screen, all of that, or excuse me, I said gamma, chroma, the chroma key filter, all of that was done with a software called ScreenFlow. I love that because the audio on it's really good. The video filters on it are really good. It's very intuitive of how to copy and splice, fade, all of those things. ScreenFlow is a Macintosh software, so I'm not a big PC guy. I don't know a lot about what's on the PC side, so just caveat on that. If you're a PC person, ScreenFlow won't work with you, but there's other softwares I know that are out there that'll do very similar things. Number 4, Canva. Canva is awesome. Been using it forever. It's free. Now they have a paid for version as well, but like the image that you see behind here, that's going to be the branding for this particular podcast, episode 457. All of that was done in Canva, okay? When you see me with video images with things behind me, and it's sort of like I'm superimposed over top of it and all of that, or I've got a guest. All of that is done in Canva. It basically replaces Adobe's Photoshop. I'm not technically savvy enough to use Photoshop, believe it or not. I know a lot of people think I'm some sort of tech guru on some of this stuff. I'm not. I just can hack and splice and figure out how to use things for my purposes. If you're not very technical when it comes to graphic design, I love Canva. Very intuitive. A lot of things, a lot of features are free. And then if you want to pay for the paid for version, I think it's only like $9. So it's really cool there. Number 5, tonight, what you're seeing, a lot of stuff behind me is done in Keynote. Now, there's other softwares out there like PowerPoint. And I think Google's got one called Presenter or Presentation or Slide Deck or something like that. And it's free if you want to use that. But anytime you want to make some bullet points and things like that and have it laid out and do a keynote presentation or a PowerPoint presentation, all of those slide deck softwares are really cool for that. Matter of fact, when you see our guest speakers on and trainers on the podcast, a lot of times you will see them with a PowerPoint or a keynote going. And so I like that. Number 6, videos, and I'll have a link in the bottom of this podcast, both on YouTube and on my blog at terrywilson3.com. It's a very affordable software that'll make intros, outros, lower thirds, everything you need to do to jazz up your video production. Videos does that. I've been using it now for 4 years. I love them, and they keep upgrading their software, so they keep it current. They keep it, and here's the other thing. It's so technically easy. Good Lord. All you have to do is say, I want this, I want that, and then it does it all for you because it's all template based, so you don't have to be some tech guru on that either. Works really well. Another one, this is a podcast, and so audio is important, so I use GarageBand. Here again, I'm an Apple guy. Everybody uses different softwares for their audio portion of their videos, but I think, I just think, even if this wasn't a podcast, I think good, clear, crisp, easy to listen to audio is very important. It sets the mood. You know, a picture's worth 1,000 words, but how the word is heard will move the heart, okay? And so I just think it's so important, especially for podcast listeners. So I love GarageBand. Number 7, the green screen. If you'll look right here, It's actually not an image. It's just a green screen. And then I put the image in the back of it. So green screens are important when you're doing presentations like this. It lets you set the mood. It lets you put you in a different room. It lets you put graphics behind you to illustrate what you're trying to talk about. So I love the green screens. Very important, lighting. Now lighting, I use, these Parcan lights, and I also use natural lighting. If you'll notice here, I'm actually using the daylight light. Someone asked me, what kind of lighting are you using? I just open the window, and because the sun goes down, this is the west over here. I'm facing the west, and so in the evenings when the sun is going down, I get to use that natural lighting, and so I use that a lot. Number 10, and finally, if you'll notice, we use ambient lights, blue strip lights, lights going up the walls and stuff like that, because what that does is it gives you depth of field. Okay, so I don't have this flat image behind me, but there's actually some context and color in the background. I love using it. I think it sets a mood. I think it helps infuse the brand with some attitude, if you will, of who you are and what you're about. So I use a lot of ambient lighting. The TW3, if you'll notice, is backlit, live on air now, and I've got all these different blue lights in the background, red lights to light up the American flag and things of that nature. I just think that gives you sort of a depth of field, and it helps you make your video pop a little bit better. So those are the 10 tools that I use here at TW3 to produce a podcast for my video side of the podcast. If you're listening to the audio version of this, you might want to go over on the video side, look up episode 457 and check that out.
Say goodbye to 2020 and hello to 2021. It's time to target our goals for this year. Like the goal to be successful. We can do this by exploring new things, following influential people, and giving back to get more. Maybe our goal is to get to know ourselves better by reading more or listening to things which inspire us, to push ourselves and follow through so that we can be our best self and get ahead to feel great. So whatever your goals for 2021, find what you're looking for at theleadertree.com, where leadership grows. So check us out Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. Eastern at tw3radio.com and theleadertree.com, because strong roots build stronger skills.
Everybody, Miss Bellingby here. I thought I'd pop in real quick from the beautiful Alamo City to let you know about my new show, Look Up with Lori Brown. I'd be honored and grateful if you'll join me on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. There's a saying, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. And I'll be talking and interviewing people about how to walk through that. If you'd like to connect or you have questions, you can reach me at LoriBrown7.com. My show will be streaming on tw3radio.com and the TW3 Radio app, and I can't wait to see you there. So when you feel like you're standing in stony ground, it's time to look up with Lori Brown. See you soon.
And now back to our show with Terry Wilson.
All right. So we are back and hope you guys have enjoyed the training tonight with Bobby C. And then I just wanted to go through a hit list of things that I've been using, and some of them, like you saw in that training there, are free of charge. So you want to go out and grab those, because I think that's going to help you in your video production and then be able to execute on what Bobby showed you tonight with using the LinkedIn and things of that nature. So, Bobby, what a great training, man.
Well, thank you.
So thank you so much for for doing that. Now, if the listeners tonight want to catch your radio program, that's on Tuesday nights at what time?
Tuesday nights at 7.
Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over at tw3radio.com. You can listen to Bobby, and he talks inside pitch. And, of course, he's a baseball guy like me and Reagan and River. Well, me and River, Reagan.
I was about to say thank you, but no.
Yeah, Reagan won't take that.
I mean, I would love to be thrown into that, but it's not for me.
You just don't.
I respect it. I used to dislike baseball. I respect it now.
You respect it, I guess.
It's not my sport. I'll never be able to.
The speed of it's too slow for you.
I've really gotten into like history baseball videos.
Yeah.
So it kind of like explains like beef between players and stuff, or like moments in history of like baseball and stuff. I'll watch those and I'll watch the summary and be like really interested. It's just when you put an actual baseball game on, maybe I have undiagnosed ADHD or something, but it's just like, I can't watch it. It's just so slow. It's like watching, I love playing chess. Like chess is one of my favorite games of all time. I won't watch somebody play chess because it's just not interesting. Like it's so boring, and baseball's like that.
Bobby, can you do anything with this guy?
I probably really can't, but that's why our youngest played lacrosse.
That makes sense.
I mean, he was all over a baseball field, and it just wasn't for him. And it was like, okay, we got to find another sport. And he fell in love with lacrosse. And I mean, he loved running up and down the field like like a madman.
That is awesome. Well, different strokes for different folks. I still love college basketball. I don't know why I never got into football. It never took with me. I think the football to me was too complicated. It had too many people on the field doing too many things at one time.
Yeah.
And so I'm a very simple person. And so that just, even though baseball's got 9 guys out there on the field, you sort of understand.
Really only 2 people are doing anything.
Yeah. I mean, the pitcher and the catcher's the one earning the, and then they just catch it when it comes to them. So I like the simplicity of the game, but at the same time, there's so many nuances to it once you get into it.
I'd probably make the argument that anybody under the age of like 14, and there's, I'm sure, a lot of people that would disagree with this. This is my personal opinion because this is my experience. But at 8 years old, I had no business being on a baseball field because I was bored out of my mind. Number one, I wasn't good. So like I didn't
You were good.
No, I didn't play any position where I could do anything. I think I had like one actual like hit all season or something.
Yeah.
But and that still carries today. I can't swing a golf ball
well, that is true. Your golf swing is awful.
I can't. There's something about that.
You need to work on that.
And I would say I have decent hand-eye coordination because I can catch a football, I can play basketball and stuff, but it's the clubs or whatever. I think my highlight of playing baseball at all and like 8 years old was the ball came down. And looking back at it, it was my fault, but the ball came down. I was like somewhere in the, what did they call the people in the back?
Outfielders?
Yeah, I was an outfielder.
What do they call those people in the outfield?
I don't know.
Outfielders?
It was T-ball, and like little kids still couldn't hit it that far. So really, they just said, "Hey, go stand out there for 30 minutes." And I'm like, "Why? We don't ever do anything out there." It actually came out there one time, and I missed the ball. I was supposed to catch it, didn't catch it, and then somebody jumped on it, and he was my teammate, and I jumped on top of him, and then we formed a dog pile. It was a useless play because we wasted time. We didn't throw the ball back into the guy that. I'm trying to talk position. It's just so hard.
The guy that's on the infield.
Yeah, the catcher.
The catcher.
I'm trying to throw it back to the catcher.
Oh, my word. Well, the thing I love about sports, not just baseball, but all of them, is the way it so translates into life. There's so many life lessons and business lessons that I have been able to extrapolate from different scenarios in sports and then bring them over into business. From being a team player to learning how to win graciously to learning the value of losing.
To learning maybe it's not your sport.
To learning, or it's not your game.
Yep.
Or it's your game, but it's not your position.
Yeah.
There's all different types of life lessons. Bobby, what's a big life lesson you've been able to extrapolate? I know that's asking, Mozart what's his favorite kid, but give us a good life lesson from sports that you've been able to pull from.
Wow, there are so many. The biggest thing is probably winning and losing. You have to learn to win with grace, and you also have to learn to lose with grace.
Yeah.
And, the gist of my show isn't really about baseball. It's about all the things that we taught as coaches that have transferred over into business. Last week I talked about massive upheaval, where you have to sometimes just go in and blow everything up and start over.
Yeah.
And, this week's show is about self-worth and self-confidence. And, baseball was really just the tool that I used to teach things like self-worth and self-confidence. Because if you don't have that, you don't have anything.
That's so true. You're right. And it goes into what we're talking about tonight about creating video and creating video content. There's a level of just self-confidence and self-worth that you've got to be able to get behind that camera. And you've got, that's something you got to tackle. Get behind the camera and put it out there. Put your value out there. Put your argument. Put your best message. Whatever it is that you're doing, put it out there. And do it with the idea that, there's going to be people that's just going to not dig it. And that's cool. Who cares? And the thing I love about baseball is, if you can get up to plate and fail 70% of the time, you are a millionaire, multi-millionaire in baseball. You can fail 70% of the time as a hitter in baseball. Think about that. And they consider that you'll be put in the Hall of Fame.
I can fail at least 70%.
You could fail 75, 80% of the and still be in some teams and still be a professional ball player.
How about this? How about I never actually hit anything? How good is that? Is that pretty good?
Well, then you learn to do something else so well that it's worth understanding that that's an automatic out when you get up.
I'll get hit by the ball a lot.
Hey, go back to Moneyball. Just get on base.
Yeah.
Just get on base. I love, but you're right, Bobby. It's the winning and the losing, and it's just all the different life lessons. And that's why I've always been a huge advocate for people to play sports, get involved, because of the self-confidence, self-worth that you have to develop, the being okay with winning and losing. The fear of failure is a huge fear that a lot of people have, the fear of being judged, the fear of being scrutinized and criticized and all of that. All of those things are mindset lessons that you have to overcome to excel in any sport, not just baseball.
That's true.
Yeah. So,
there's one tip that I didn't put in the video itself.
Yeah.
And I thought I had, and then I realized I hadn't. And one of the fastest ways to overcome, a video phobia is take your face off the screen. One of the problems that people have with Zoom is that they look at themselves while they talk. And so what I do is actually I have my face actually blocked so I can't see me. And what I've done is I have your picture up beside the camera. So when I'm having this discussion, I'm talking to Terry directly.
Wow. That is great.
That's a great idea.
That's a great idea.
What it does is, once you're centered on screen and, you've got yourself in essence clipped in, to where you want to be, and you just don't move a whole lot. You don't want to be all over the screen, but by not watching yourself, you can actually, it's me having a conversation with Terry. And when I started to do that and I quit looking at me and the way that I looked on camera, it really helped.
Man, that is a great, great piece of advice.
That's smart.
Just stop centering. And because honestly, that's what's going on. Psychologically, you're just hyper focused on yourself to the point. Mm-hmm. And I'm not trying to be critical, but what do I look, is my hair? Yeah,
everybody does it.
You get caught in your own head.
Go to the bathroom. What's the first thing you look at? Is the mirror.
You're looking at the mirror, adjusting, your hair, adjusting your face, adjusting whatever, powdering, doing whatever. And I love what Bobby says. He's taking the focus off of himself.
Yeah.
He says, this is about speaking to this person. So that's who's on the screen.
No, that's smart.
And I love that. That's good stuff. Good stuff. Well, Bobby, what you got planned this week?
What do I have planned this week?
Yeah. What kind of business are you going to write this week?
Well, I'm hoping to write a lot. I've run a couple of ads here recently.
Yeah.
And I've gotten over 100 applications here in probably the last 5 days.
That's awesome. Awesome.
In the auto sales category, and then also in the business opportunity category. I'm really excited. I've been on the phone most of the day.
That is awesome. That's awesome. Activity drives results, and Bobby's just getting more swings at the bat because he's up at the plate more. And that's all a lead is another opportunity to get at the plate and get another pitch. And as my Uncle Harold always says, blind hog will find an acorn every once in a while.
He said a lot of stuff.
He said a lot of stuff, and that's a mixed metaphor. I know hogs don't look for acorns, but I think his mixed metaphor means you might be the wrong type of person at the wrong place, but if you just stay out there long enough,
something will happen.
You'll either get hit by the pitch or luck out and hit that. So just keep swinging. Just keep swinging. Well, what a great show tonight. Thank you guys so much. If you would like to get more mindset coaching, you can go over to coachwithtw3.com. That's where we offer that kind of training. If you want to be able to get the tools and the training and more advanced training on how to take all of these different components from websites to cameras to social media platforms like LinkedIn and all that, we strongly encourage you at some point in your life, consider becoming an elite member here at TW3, because that's where you get to come to the mastermind meetings and sit in with great entrepreneurs and people from all different industries that are taking their money, business, and life to all new levels by using these tools. Until next time, we will see you later.
Thank you for listening to our show today at TerryWilson3.com.
Get a free sample copy of the book You Are Worth More by going to TerryWilson3.com now.
If you would like more information on how we can take your money, your business, and your life to the next level, then please visit us online at TerryWilson3.com.